Hello, my dear friends of Symphonic Brass Music, and welcome to something a bit different because today I want to do some sort of reacting video because I like my studio very much and I think it's pretty much done, but it can always be a bit more perfect than it can be ever. I think I will never stop investing in that room I have, tracking room, control room, whatsoever. And the last few days, I thought I want to know what I can do to the control room to get it to that perfect state. And so I asked Beacoustic to send me to make a plan of my control room, so I know what to do, how to do it, where to place which module, and so on. And this is the first proposal I got yesterday, so a few days ago when you watched that video. Um, I already sent some changes, but I just want to talk you through what I see there and what I think about it. And yeah, so let's start with my reaction. If you send them a proposal, you get this nice little paper bag with some information, some general information about acoustics. If you're not familiar with this stuff, blah 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 blah. What's reverberation time? What is good reverberation time and whatsoever. I already know it, so I skipped all that. If you don't know it, if you have a control room, you want to be somewhere between zero point 0.2, zero point 0.4 seconds of reverberation time equal in all frequencies, and that's the critical point, that you want to be as equal as you can be in all frequencies, so you know what's coming out of your speaker is exactly what's coming out of your speaker and not what your room does from it. Also, you don't want to have early reflection. That's going to be interesting in a minute. You don't want to have early reflections on your ear because you want to know that what's coming out of the right speaker is what's coming out of the right speaker, and you don't hear it from the left as a reflection, and tricks your brain. So the stereo image will be a bit wonky, and this is what they did. They actually changed the position of my racks, which you see on the left side on this first picture. They moved them way back and put my shelf right next to the listening position. They did this because they placed 4 cinema rounds here and 4 cinema rounds here to catch the early reflections from my speakers, which I totally understand, but I don't like it. Reason one I don't like it is I want to work fast with the preamps and the output equipment I have in these racks, so I want them right next to me. And this is why I asked them to change the shelf and the racks around. Also, the racks are not that high as they thought they are, because I missed the measurements of the height. And so they estimated they're way higher. They actually stopped somewhere in this, somewhere around here, showing you with my mouse. They stop, and so I don't think it's much of a concern regarding the early reflection. So I want them to change that around. Also, and that took me quite some time to think about this, ergonometry is more important for me than let's say 100% acoustic. I want to work fast when recording, and I don't want to stretch down. I don't want to move behind, and don't listen exactly to what I'm changing. So I want that to be changed. And this all in the bag is to catch all the reflections later and to make the room sound more dead than it is. And they have a graph later. You see these diffusers here on top, this is just to making it a bit lively, and everything else is bass traps all around. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 bass trap on this picture, and another 9 on the back. So a huge amount of bass traps. And what I think is really funny, and I didn't expect that, is that the back wall is absorbed and not diffused, which I quite like, because the people sitting on the couch won't have the impression of a really lively signal, because now my room won't be that dead end live end as it is right now. Currently, I have a really not really dead. It used to be more absorbed, but it's, yeah. The early reflections are cold. The second reflections are cold, but the second half, everything behind my listening position is untreated, so pretty lively. And they changed that to a pretty dead back end of the room. And I quite like this, because that means that every position in the room will work out, and all the 21 bass traps will take care of all the modes which are there. Funny enough, they're catching everything. They're not placed on the top because they just can't fit in a fourth bass trap in here. So this is why there's only 3 on the from bottom up. But that is fine, and I really, really like that view. I really, really like the idea they have, and I'm very curious to see what they do when we change the racks. So I sent them pictures of my room, and this is what they came up with. It's so awesome, because they are KRK speakers, and right, I have NS10s here, but whatever, and it's not an iMac, but whatever. And so I really, really like the detail they came up with. I won't have a plant there, but this air condition, it's right there, and that's awesome. This column doesn't exist, but anyway, that won't matter. Yeah, I really, really like the plan, and what you see here is a bit more in detail, so I know where to place stuff. These are cinema rounds. I go on that view, you see better on that view. These black ones are cinema rounds, which are really, really wide band absorbers. These are flexi wood, they're called. They're a bit more specific in the mid range. And these are diffusers, working really, really broad bandy. And these are all the super bass extremes I already have installed. I already have 6, so I just need 15 more. Thank you very much. And you already also see the flexi wave absorbers here beneath the window, to catch some of these reflections as well. Yeah, really, really detailed plan. I really like this. And what they show you here is the reverberation time, and that's the crucial thing. And at first I was like, I don't have 1 second of reverberation time in my room. What the fuck are you after? And then I realized, no, they are planning with no treatment whatsoever. And with my last measurement, I have 6 bass traps in there. I have these Basitec absorbers in place where they have the cinema rounds, and I have other absorbers around the place where they will have some absorbers. So there you go. An untreated room would be more than a second of reverberation time, and we go down to 0.2-ish. There we go, 0.24, 0.22, 0.25, around that reverberation time, and that's the crucial thing. The room modes, they are just there. They're in every room you're gonna construct, but they're gonna get rid of a sheer amount of bass traps. I'm already catching a whole lot of modes, and there's not much left up to be a concern. Actually, there's nothing left which is an actual concern for me. I can work properly in that room, really have no issues to get the bass right, but I will get it even more righter. That's not a word anyway. When I place more bass traps in it, and that's the conclusion. It's just the sheer amount of treatment you have to do to make it right, or to make it perfect. I mean, the room currently is all right, but it will be perfect. And yeah, I will invest in that step by step. I will not buy all the things at once because nope. It costs a whole lot of money, but they are worth it. Every panel they offer is worth it. I'll show you the graphs of the panels in a minute. Here you are. The cinema rounds, these are really broadbandy, starting by 250, 315, and going up to everything. And these FlexiWood Ultras, which they put in the bag, these are just specific for the mid range. I quite like this idea because that makes sense. You catch the first reflection on the high end with the cinema rounds, and because high end doesn't have that much energy, there's no need to catch them later. But the mid frequency had more energy, so they may come out of the cinema rounds and be a bit reverby, and so they're gonna be catched by the FlexiWood Ultras later. That's the idea behind it. And these are the diffusers, having a bit of an absorption coefficient, but more diffusion all over. And the bass traps, which start working below 100 hertz. They don't have a graph for it, but there you go. And the great thing about the FlexiWood, and this is why they come up with, is they're cuttable. So you see here, that's actually 1.5. So these are 2 whole panels and 2 half panels. These are 4 full panels, and there is something half in it. They are half again, so they're cuttable. This is why they came up with them. So yeah, I'm gonna do another video like that when I have the second plan. And what's my conclusion out of that? Keeping you updated. If you want me to get this room done faster, then there's a link to buy me a coffee below, and I'm planning on doing this sort of video a bit more in detail for all my patrons and the people supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee on a monthly basis. So if you want to get stuff more in detail, check that out. Thanks for your support. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye.